Okay, it's already afternoon. We continue with our press briefing. Want to, as always, welcome you to the every Monday press briefing. Generally, the security situation within and across our borderlines continues to remain peaceful, calm. And we want to inform you that following complaints of aggressive enforcement of URA activities in West Nile and Northwest Nile region. In the course of last week, around the 12th, the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Honorable Musa Asizi, of course, led a delegation of URA officials who met with local leaders, the business community, and the wider community in the West Nile and Northwest Nile region to address concerns of URA enforcement, as well as an increase in acts of the smuggling that attracts the aggressive form of enforcement, and also addressing concerns surrounding the registration of motorcycles within that region. The meeting was productive, and we expect a harmonized approach to the complaints that were there. Still in the Northwest Nile region, on the 12th of last week, we also had our joint security agencies, and in particular the UPDF, establish a new detach at a place called Paranato in Kerwa sub-county. That is about 9 kilometers from Murole. This is a borderline that we actually share with the South Sudan, and we've been having concerns of insecurity along that area. The situation remains calm with the presence of UPDF personnel on the ground around that area. We continue with carrying out a number of counter-terror operations in the Rwenzori region. And you're all aware that due to the ongoing successful UPDF pursuit against the ADF rebels in the eastern DRC, our counter-terror task teams have continued to remain vigilant and have continued to monitor our western borderline for potential threats in the Rwenzori area in coordination with the joint territorial security teams. Although at this stage we do not have specific intelligence reflecting any new attacks along our Rwenzori air axis with the DRC, we are monitoring active ADF activities on the other side of the DRC. We were getting complaints of insecurity perpetrated by ADF in Bukuka Hills, that is in the eastern DRC. We also were monitoring acts of insecurity on the eastern DRC side of Luviriha, Kasindi, around the 12th of February last week. And because of these acts of insecurity and violent attacks close to the Ugandan border, we call upon the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to our security teams. Our joint territorial teams continue to maintain a heightened posture, of course, with patrols and increased visibility along the Rwenzori area to counter any potential threats that may arise from the eastern DRC. And because of that, we want to inform the public that the police in Rwenzori East and in Pondwe, CPS, last week arrested another suspected ADF rebel called Bahati Abdul Razak, a 28-year-old rebel who sneaked from Todoli in the DRC and entered into the country. He was part of the group that sneaked into Uganda in November 2023 through Butunya in Toroko and was in hiding. So he was arrested. Most of his colleagues were eliminated, but we believe there are still a few remnants who are out there that we continue to actually pursue. Then also in a separate development, our joint anti-terrorism task force managed to recover an 11-year-old ADF recruit called Chibumbo Munimbu, who escaped from the DRC and was trying to find his way back to Uganda. So he was recovered along, that is Chibirizi village in Lake Katwe sub-county, where we established upon interrogating him that it is his grandfather actually who picked him all the way from Buwenge, that is from Erapa Nabirimba village in Buyende district. This grandfather of his called Muzungu Sulaid is the one who picked him together with 3 other children and managed to transport them all the way up to the ADF camps in the DRC. We had greatly fought cells that are actively involved in recruitment of children, radicalizing them and having them transferred to the DRC. So we are, efforts are in place to at least have the grandfather, Muzungu Sulaidi, of Nabirumba village traced, and we are going to, upon arrest, we shall have him charged as for being an ADF collaborator. We continue to process charges against a suspect who was arrested for defaming the Kabaka of Buganda, promoting hate speech, incitement to violence, and other offensive pieces of communication against the Kabaka of Buganda and also the Buganda Kingdom. You're aware our crime intelligence task teams carried out this arrest on the 17th of February, where a one Musana Ibrahim, aged 27, a resident of Kawuga in Mukono, and also a resident of Chira Road, was picked following a series of reported hate crimes, acts of incitement to violence, defamation of the Kabaka of Uganda, the Katikiro, and a lot of offensive communication through various digital platforms on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. And so the suspect was handed over to the Directorate of CID in Chibuli, who are now processing him on these various charges of misuse of social media, hate speech, malicious information under the Computer Misuse Act, and incitement to violence. We are actually transcribing over 50 videos of anti-Kabaka sentiments that are vulgar, abusive, hostile, and defamatory. Why we are transcribing them is for evidential purposes. We're aware that a large section of the people of Uganda and well-wishers are not happy with such negative sentiments, ugly speech that is so embarrassing and highly disrespectful of the Kabaka of Uganda, the Katikiro of Uganda, and the Uganda Kingdom. We are all aware that devotion of the Kabaka of Uganda has long been the pillar of the Uganda Kingdom, and which must be preferred. must be preserved at all costs. As a country, we have very, very strict rules against acts of incitement to violence, hate speech, and all other forms of offensive communication. We therefore cannot and will not tolerate violence incited and motivated by hate speech due to the devastation and unrest it can cause our communities. Therefore, as the joint security agencies, we are going to use every tool and resource at our disposal to combat bias-motivated violence and all its forms, not only against the Kabaka of Uganda, but also against any other Ugandan or visitors in the country. We want to thank our CID task teams and also the crime intelligence task teams for their hard work and the strong message to all perpetrators of hateful ideology that they will be caught and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.